Welcome back. Please like, share the video, and subscribe to the channel. Good morning. I'm Alex, and welcome to our Technology Report. Today, we are discussing a serious security breach that is causing concern globally.
Hello, everyone. That's right, Alex. On March 5th, 2026, a security firm reported that hackers broke into Mexican government databases. They stole 150 gigabytes of sensitive data.
The scale is truly shocking. The breach compromised the personal records of about 195 million taxpayers. But the most concerning part is the method the hackers used. Jamie, they didn't use traditional tools.
No, they didn't. They used standard AI chatbots, the same kind many people use every day. By using a technique called prompt injection, the hackers tricked the AI. They forced it to ignore its safety rules to generate malicious code and a plan to enter the network.
This is a major turning point. It means that even amateur hackers can now perform high-level crimes by using AI. Even though these bots are programmed to refuse illegal requests, the criminals found ways to nudge the systems into helping them.
It highlights a growing problem. Security experts say that while a defense system must be successful all the time, a hacker only needs to be successful once. This event has caught the attention of world leaders, including President Trump, who are now looking at AI safety as a matter of national security.
Exactly. It is no longer just about corporate policy. Governments are now demanding a complete redesign of how AI safety works. Tech companies are racing to fix these vulnerabilities, but this incident shows that current safeguards are simply not enough.
It is a sober reminder of the risks that come with new technology. We must ensure our safety protocols evolve as fast as the AI itself.
Thank you for joining us for this analysis. We will continue to follow this story as it develops.
Goodbye for now.
Good morning. Today, we are looking at a major change in how we manage our health. CVS Health and Google Cloud have just announced a new partnership called Health 100.
Hello, Alex. That's right. Health 100 is a new platform powered by artificial intelligence. It is designed to act as a personal partner for your medical needs, helping you navigate the complicated healthcare system.
Healthcare can be very stressful for many people. We often spend hours tracking appointments or trying to understand insurance costs. How will this new platform help?
The goal is to eliminate healthcare homework. The AI will manage your prescriptions, track your doctor visits, and show you exactly what your costs will be in real time. It gives users more control over their own health information.
It sounds like a very proactive approach. Instead of only helping when someone is already sick, the platform seems to focus on prevention.
Precisely. The system uses advanced technology to suggest healthy habits and check for dangerous drug interactions. It connects pharmacies, doctors, and insurance companies into one clear story for the user. The companies call this a preventative-first model.
Of course, when we talk about AI and medical data, privacy is a big concern. How are they protecting patient information?
Google Cloud says they are committed to responsible AI. They have built tools to ensure that the medical advice is accurate and that all sensitive data is kept safe and private.
The initial rollout will begin later this year. It will be interesting to see how this changes the medical field under the current administration. Thank you for the update, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.
Good morning. Today we are discussing a major legal decision that affects international trade and the U.S. economy. Jamie, what are the details of this recent court ruling?
Hello, Alex. On March 5th, a federal judge ruled that U.S. importers are legally entitled to refunds. This follows a Supreme Court decision that struck down President Trump's previous tariff framework. The ruling means the government must pay back duties collected from thousands of companies.
This sounds like a significant financial situation for the government. How did this case begin?
It started with a company called Atmos Filtration, which sued for a refund on imported materials. Now that the judge has ruled in their favor, many other businesses are expected to file similar claims. For these companies, the refunds are excellent news for their balance sheets.
However, the Trump administration seems to be moving forward with its own trade goals. What is the latest from the Treasury Department?
That is correct. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent recently stated that the administration is not slowing down. A new 10% global tariff started earlier this year, and it is expected to rise to 15% this week.
So while companies are getting money back from old tariffs, they are facing higher costs from new ones.
Exactly. Secretary Bezant believes the administration will overcome these legal challenges and return tariff rates to their previous levels by August. He is confident that they can work around the Supreme Court's earlier intervention.
This creates a complex environment for many businesses. They are caught between receiving large refunds and facing an escalating trade war.
It also causes market volatility. While the refunds help domestic manufacturers, the constant changes in policy make it difficult for investors to plan for the long term.
It is a clear example of the ongoing tension between the executive branch and the courts. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You're welcome, Alex.
Good morning. It is March 5, 2026. Today we are looking at some very positive news regarding the U.S. economy.
That is right, Alex. New data shows that the U.S. services sector is growing at its fastest pace since mid-2022. This includes businesses like healthcare, finance, and retail.
What is even more encouraging is that the cost of these services is starting to drop. This suggests that the high inflation we have seen recently is finally cooling down.
This news gave Wall Street a significant boost. The Nasdaq index rose by 1.5% this morning. We also saw Bitcoin reach a high of over $73,000, showing that investors are feeling more confident.
It is interesting to see this confidence, especially with the current military conflict in the Middle East. Usually, war makes investors nervous, but the strength of the U.S. economy is keeping the market steady. Even oil prices have stabilized at around $75 per barrel.
However, we must still be cautious. China has recently decided to stop exporting diesel and gasoline. This could create new challenges for global supply chains. Furthermore, China's own economic growth targets are at their lowest level in many years.
Domestically, there are also variables to watch. The Trump administration is continuing to push for higher tariffs. At the same time, military operations in the Persian Gulf continue. These factors could cause more market changes in the future.
In short, the U.S. consumer remains a powerful engine for economic growth. However, international conflicts mean that the financial landscape will remain uncertain for a while.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will continue to monitor these developments closely. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, March 5, 2026. In Washington, the House of Representatives is preparing for a very important vote regarding the conflict in Iran.
That is correct, Alex. The House will vote on a War Powers Resolution. If it passes, the U.S. military must stop its operations against Iran unless Congress specifically allows them to continue.
This conflict began suddenly last weekend. President Trump says the strikes were necessary to destroy Iran's missiles and protect the U.S. However, many lawmakers are now questioning the long-term plan.
There is a lot of concern about the timeline. Initially, the president suggested a short operation, but recently, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said the conflict could last at least 8 weeks. That is double the original estimate.
This change has worried both Democrats and some Republicans. They are concerned about the U.S. entering another long war in the Middle East. We are also seeing reports of U.S. service members being killed in regional strikes, which adds to the tension.
Supporters of the president argue that this resolution makes the U.S. look weak to its enemies. They believe the president needs the power to act quickly. On the other hand, critics say the Constitution requires Congress to have a say in going to war.
Even if the House passes the resolution, President Trump is expected to veto it. He wants to maintain his executive authority during this time of war.
It is a significant moment for the government. The vote today will show if the president has enough support to continue his strategy as the costs of the war begin to rise.
We will keep a close eye on the results. Thank you for joining us for this update.
You're welcome, Alex.
Hello. It is March 5th, 2026. Today, we are discussing the U.S. Department of Justice, often called the DOJ. The department is currently facing a lot of criticism.
That is right, Alex. Many people are worried about how Attorney General Pam Bondi is leading the department. They claim the DOJ is being used as a political weapon to help the administration.
This concern grew after the DOJ started investigations into Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Governor Tim Walz. Both men have publicly disagreed with President Trump in the past.
Exactly. Legal experts say that using law enforcement to target political rivals is a serious problem. It suggests that the justice system is no longer independent.
There are also some very visual signs of this change. In February, a massive banner of President Trump was placed over the entrance of the DOJ headquarters. Former officials say this sends a message that the department now serves the president, not the public.
We also have to mention the FBI raid in Georgia this past January. The agents were looking for evidence regarding the 2020 election. Critics argue that the DOJ is spending too much time on the president's personal grievances.
Attorney General Bondi also recently sent a memo to her staff. She told them to zealously defend the interests of the president. While the administration says they are simply fixing mistakes from the past, the legal community is very worried.
Yes, groups of retired judges and lawyers are now organizing to protest. They believe these actions make it difficult for the law to be fair and impartial.
It is a tense time. The balance between the president's power and the independence of the law is under a lot of pressure. Thank you for joining us for this update.
Thank you. We will continue to follow this story.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to our program. Today is March 5th, 2026. It is a day dedicated to protecting your personal information and your hard-earned money.
That is correct, Alex. Today marks the 7th annual Slam the Scam Day. This initiative is organized by the Social Security Administration, also known as the SSA.
The goal is simple: to educate the public about government imposter scams. These are crimes where fraudsters pretend to be government officials to steal from innocent people.
It is a growing problem. In 2025, there were over 330,000 reports of these scams. Scammers often use high-tech tools to make their phone calls look like they are coming from a real government office.
Commissioner Frank Bizignon recently spoke about this. He urged all Americans, especially seniors, to be very careful. Scammers often try to create a sense of fear. They might say your Social Security number is suspended, or even threaten you with arrest.
But we must remember that the SSA does not work that way. The agency will never threaten you. They will never demand immediate payment over the phone, and they will never ask for money via gift cards or wire transfers.
To help us stay safe, the Slam the Scam campaign highlights 4 red flags. These are pretend, problem, pressure, and payment.
Exactly. First, they pretend to be from a government agency. Second, they say there is a problem or a prize. Third, they put pressure on you to act immediately. Finally, they tell you to pay in a specific way.
Under the Trump administration, federal investigators are working hard to track these international criminal networks. However, the best defense is a well-informed public.
Knowing how the SSA communicates is the best way to protect yourself. If you receive a suspicious call, simply hang up.
Thank you for that advice, Jamie. We hope everyone stays vigilant. Thank you for joining us today.
Goodbye, everyone.
Good morning. Today we are discussing a major announcement from the European Commission regarding its new strategy for gender equality.
Hello, Alex. Yes, this is a comprehensive 5-year roadmap for 2026 through 2030. Its goal is to make gender equality a central part of European life.
The plan covers several areas, but it specifically highlights cyber violence. This is a growing threat that targets women and girls online.
To address this and other safety issues, they have launched the SHIELD initiative. This program focuses on 2 things: improving access to reproductive health care and providing strong support for survivors of violence.
That is a significant step. However, the report also looks at the economy. It mentions that pay and pension gaps between men and women are still very high.
Exactly. In fact, officials noted that at the current rate, it would take another 50 years to reach full equality in Europe. To speed this up, the Commission wants to help female entrepreneurs get more funding.
They are also looking at career choices, aren't they?
Yes, they want to attract more women into high-growth sectors like science and technology. At the same time, they are encouraging more men to enter fields like healthcare and education.
Finally, the strategy addresses digital safety. By fighting disinformation and online harassment, the EU hopes to make it safer for women to participate in politics and public life.
It is a very steady and logical approach.
As we approach International Women's Day on March 8th, the message is clear. Equality is a driver for economic success.
A bold vision for the next 5 years. Thank you for that analysis, Jamie.
You're welcome, Alex.
Hello and welcome. Today we have some very hopeful news regarding global health. Scientists have discovered a weak spot in the parasite that causes malaria.
That is right, Alex. In a study published this week, researchers identified a protein called ARC-K1. They described this protein as a cellular traffic controller. It is essential for the malaria parasite to divide and multiply.
Malaria is one of the world's deadliest diseases. Why is this specific protein so important for a potential cure?
Well, the research shows that when ARC-K1 is switched off, the parasite cannot organize its genetic material. This means it cannot complete its life cycle. It stops the disease from spreading in both humans and mosquitoes.
One concern with new treatments is often the side effects. Does this discovery offer a safer option for patients?
Yes, it does. Crucially, the version of this protein found in malaria is very different from the ones found in human cells. Because of this difference, scientists can create a targeted drug. It can turn the lights out on the parasite without harming the human host.
This is a very significant timing for such a discovery. We have seen reports that current malaria treatments are becoming less effective in some parts of the world.
Exactly. The disease is building resistance to older drugs. By targeting the basic way the parasite grows, this new method provides a more durable solution.
It is truly a leap forward for international medicine. The team, including experts from the UK and India, is already working on the next steps for clinical development.
It is a steady path toward a malaria-free future.
Thank you for that analysis, Jamie. We will continue to follow this story as it develops. Good morning. Today we are looking at a medical breakthrough from the University of Pittsburgh. Scientists there have developed a new kind of treatment called a living eye drop.
Good morning, Alex. It is a very interesting approach. Usually, when we use standard eye drops, our tears wash the medicine away very quickly. This means patients often have to use drops many times a day to see results.
And I understand these new living drops solve that problem?
Exactly. The researchers used a harmless natural bacterium that already lives on the surface of the human eye. They modified this bacterium to produce a specific medicine that reduces swelling and helps wounds heal.
So instead of the medicine washing away, the bacteria stay on the eye and keep working?
Yes. Because the bacteria live on the eye's surface, they provide a continuous supply of medicine exactly where it is needed. In their study, published in the journal Cell Reports, the scientists found that this apply-once method helped eye injuries in mice heal much faster.
That sounds much more convenient for patients. However, this is still in the early stages of research, correct?
That is right. Lead author Dr. Anthony St. Ledger says this is the first time a native eye microbe has been used to deliver medicine. However, the team still needs to ensure the bacteria are safe and stable for long-term use in humans.
It is a fascinating look into the future of living medicine. If human trials are successful, it could change how we treat eye diseases forever. Thank you for the update, Jamie.
You are very welcome, Alex.